Hello students, Jai Swaminarayan. I am Professor Urvis Mewada, HOD Electrical Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat, Gandhinagar. I am the subject matter of Interconnected Power System, which is in the 7th semester Electrical Engineering, and GTU subject code of this subject is 2170901. Students, we are currently discussing the chapter number 3, that is Load Flow Studies, and we are going to discuss today topic number 5, and this is our lecture number 5, for that is various method of load flow studies. Students, we are going to discuss the Newton-Raphson method flow chart. So in previous lecture we have discussed the various method of load flow study, in which we have discussed the Newton-Raphson method for single valued function, and the Newton-Raphson for and related examples of the single valued function. And then after we discuss the Newton-Raphson method for the multi-level or multi-valued function, and then after we discuss the related examples of the Newton-Raphson method. And also we have discussed the Newton-Raphson method for power flow studies. These are the contents that we discussed in the previous lecture. So today we are going to study the flow chart of the NR method. So let us discuss how the NR method reacts and perform. So let the NR method basically having the say Jacobian matrix. We use Jacobian matrix. So let us start with the and this is the point at which the method starts. So read in system data and formulate Y admittance matrix. So from the given data, first of all, the system convert the Y admittance matrix. If the system is having 3 buses, then the Y bus will be the 3 cos 3 matrix. So I is equal to Vy. From that equation we can form the matrix of the given system, and assume the bus voltage Vi is equal to 1 plus J0, because we have considered the first bus as a slack bus. So that's why the bus initial bus is considered as V is equal to 1 plus J0 for I is equal to 1 to N, where I is not equal to S, where V S is the say sending end say voltage. A Vs is equal to A plus J00. So this is the assumptions for the bus these are the assumptions for the bus voltage Vi and Vs. So the set the convergence criterion C, that sorry, epsilon, that we already discussed. What do you mean by the convergence criterion? That is the say we use for the system solution, and K is equal to 0. After that we have the set bus current I is equal to 1. So this is we are getting from the number 1. And check the slack bus. So first of all we need to check the slack bus. So the slack bus is, so once we have the say bus current I is equal to 1, sorry, bus count I is equal to 1, then we have the condition for the checking for the slack bus. If there is a slack bus, then system will go to the say advanced bus count I is equal to I plus 1, and then after that will follow the system. And if the system is having no, then that will calculate the Pi and Qi, and that will evaluate delta Pi for the kth bus, and the I specified minus Pik. So this is the value of say nth number of buses. From that we can have the value of change in the power. And then after again we have the condition, that is check for the generator bus, and if there is yes, then that will follow to calculate the reactive power of the system. So is Qi is less than Qi minimum, this is the condition. If it is yes, then set Qi is equal to Qi minimum, and that will evaluate again the reactive power for the kth bus, and it will go to the advanced bus count I is equal to I plus 1. So this is how we can remember the flow chart of NR method. We need to first of all this is the flow, and we need to first of all put whatever the means from the example you can be very clear that how this flow chart is when means the flow of the calculation. But once you go through this flow chart clearly, the values that you need to determine, so you check the values that you need to determine, so you can you can draw the flow chart very clearly without any doubts. So after this condition, we have that if there is a yes, then that will follow the reactive power calculation. Again we have the condition that qi is less than qi minimum. If it is no, then qi is less than qi maximum, and if it is yes, then again that qis is equal to qi maximum. This is the condition, and then after that will evaluate the change in the reactive power of the kth bus. And if there is the system having say no, then evaluate the delta vi square is equal to vis square minus vi square. This is the value of the voltage that we put for the nth number of buses, and then after we can calculate the advanced bus count, I is equal to I plus 1. So this is 1, 2 and 3 that is coming from this flow chart. So again after that, again that will check if I is greater than n. So if there is no, then it will follow the path 2, and it will repeat the process again. And if there is yes, then it will determine the largest of the say absolute of the residue, and then after it will check the residue is say greater than or equal to epsilon. And if it is no, then evaluate the elements of the elements through the Jacobian matrix. And if there is yes, then calculate the line, the flows and the slack bus power, and then after that it will get stop. And once it is yes, then the calculate that delta ik for the kth bus, and delta vik for the voltages for the kth bus, and new bus voltage, that is delta I k plus 1 plus delta I raised to k. So that is on the voltage equation for say the bus voltage equation, that is mode vi k plus 1 is equal to vi k plus delta vik. So where I is equal to 1 to n, and where I is not equal to s. So after that it will follow this step where the calculate vi cos delta I and sin delta I, and again we have the condition that is check for the generator bus. If the bus is generator bus, then it will go towards the delta I k plus 1 to v mode vi delta I cos delta I, and from that we can write this equation vi mode vi k plus 1 is equal to mode vi delta I sin delta I. And then after it will follow this path, and it will go towards the step number 1. And then after if the generator bus is say no, then again we will check the condition, that is vi is say less than vi minimum. If it is no, then that will check that vi is less than vi maximum, and if it is no, then it will follow again the set k is equal to k plus 1 path. And if it is yes, then again it will calculate the delta k plus 1 of say vi minimum and vi maximum of the respective conditions. So this is the flow chart of the NR method, and once we calculate example related to this, it will be more clear to evaluate this the flow chart. So first of all we need to set up the algorithm for the method. So in the algorithm we are following the same flow chart. So let us assume the suitable solution for all buses except the slack bus, because we have considered slack bus initial, or we can the bus which is having the largest generator connected is considered as the slack bus. So that's why let vi is equal to 1 plus j 0.0 for I is equal to 1 to n, where I is not equal to s. So vs is equal to a plus j 0.0. So now after that set the convergence criteria epsilon, that is according to the flow chart. And if the largest of the absolute of the residue exceeds the value of epsilon, the process is say repeated, and otherwise it is terminated. Again, set the criterion count k is equal to 0, set the bus I is equal to 1, then check if it is a slack bus, and then if it is yes, then go to the step number 10, and if it is no, then calculate the real and reactive power of pi and pi and qi respectively, using the equation 3.6 and 3.7 that we already derived, and evaluate the delta pik is equal to psi minus pik. So this is for the bus number 1 to nth number of bus, and we are going to we can calculate the power of change in power of the system from the bus number 1 to the nth number of bus, and check if the bus in question is generator bus. So if yes, then compare the qik with the limits, so qi maximum or qi minimum limits, and then after if the power limits is say violated, set qi is equal to qi minimum. If the limit is not violated, evaluate the voltage residue. So the voltage residue can be calculated from this equation, that is mod delta vi square is equal to mod vi square specified minus vi k square, and go to the step number 10. So this is this is the algorithm which is exactly following the flow chart, and then after evaluate the delta qi till the kth bus is equal to qis minus qik, and then after the advance the bus count by say 1, and I is equal to I plus 1. This is the method that is again refollow whenever the condition is not satisfied, and check if all the buses have been accounted. If not, then go to the step number 5. Also it determines the largest of the absolute value of the residue, and if the largest of the absolute of the residue is less than the say epsilon, then go to the step number 17. So evaluate the elements of the Jacobian matrix, and then after by putting the values into the Jacobian matrix, calculate the voltage increments delta I k. So this is the power phase angle of the say delta bus of the power system, and delta mod v I2 k. So calculate the new bus voltage, that is delta I k plus 1 is equal to delta I raised to k plus delta I raised to k, and mod v I k plus 1 is equal to vi raised to k plus delta v mod I raised to I2 k. So evaluate the cos delta and sin delta of the various voltages, and then after calculate the advance iteration count, that is k is equal to k plus 1, and go to the step number 4, and then after evaluate the bus and line power and print the result, and then after the system will get stopped. So this is the algorithm that is actually following by the system. Now power flow through the lines and slack bus. So this is the system we have considered. So this is the bus A, this is the bus B, and this is the side from where we are sending the power. So this is the current IAB, and this is the side at which we are sending the power to the system. So that is IBA. So B to A it is sending, that's why IBA, and this is A to B it is sending, that's why it is IAB. So over here the impedance of the admittances of the system, that is YAB, because it is across the A and B, and this is YAB0, and then this is YBA0, and the currents of the respective links, that is IAB0 and IBA0, and this is the pi representation of a line and transformer connected between two buses. So consider a line which is connected to the two buses A and B, and the line and transformers at each end can be represented by a nominal pi circuit. So this is the nominal pi circuit model of the given transmission system, and this circuit has series admittances say YAB, and and two shunt admittances, say YAB0 and YBA0, that are the parallel admittances that we consider in the system, which is shown in this figure. And for that, if we write an equation for the IAB, then IAB will be IAB1 and IAB0. This is the formula which we can write from this. So for IAB we can write the VA minus VB into YAB. I is nothing but the V into Y, so we have the voltages of say A to B, that's why VA minus VB, and for the admittance that we considered, that is YAB, plus IAB0 we can write VA YAB0. So this is the equation of say I is equal to VY. The complex power supplied by bus to a line which is given by S is equal to P plus JQ. So we are considering from A to B, that's why it is SAB is equal to PAB plus JQAB. So is equal to VAB conjugate. So VA conjugate into VA conjugate minus VB conjugate YAB. This is the value that we put over here, and VA conjugate Y conjugate AB0. So this is the equation number 3.49 for the given power system. Or we can say apparent power of the system. Now similarly, the complex power fed by the bus B, so we can write directly the bus B equation, that is SBA is equal to VB into VB conjugate minus VA conjugate Y AB conjugate plus VB into VB conjugate Y conjugate BA0. So from that we can write this equation: VB square YAB conjugate minus VB into VA conjugate YAB plus VB square Y conjugate BA0. So this is the equation 3.50. Thus the power flow through all lines can be calculated with the help of this equation, and the power loss in the line connecting say 8th and bth bus is given by the algebraic sum of SAB and SBA. So when we add that to the add that the say power of both the system, then we will get the say algebraic sum of SAB and SBA. So that will be the total power loss of the system, and the total transmission loss in the sum of losses over all the lines that can be done by solving such a power system like given like this given formula. And the slack bus power is calculated by say summing the flows on the lines which are terminating the slack bus. So here this is how we can calculate the power loss of the transmission system through this given example. Now this is the most MP question that is repeatedly asked in the GTU exam, that is explain the comparison of GS and NR method for the load flow studies. So already we have gone through this Gauss-Seidel and NR method, so that will be very easy for you to differentiate the GS and NR method. So let us discuss the first point, that is GS method works well. GS method works well when the program using rectangular coordinates, and over here NR method requires more say money when the rectangular coordinates are used. Hence the polar coordinates are preferred for the calculation, where in the GS method the time required to complete the iteration is less, where in the NR method time required to complete the iteration is 7 times higher, because of the element of the Jacobian matrix are to be computed for the each iteration, because we have considered the Jacobian matrix for each and every iterations, so that will be more lengthy compared to the GS method. For large system, GS method is not more accurate, and this method NR method is more accurate for the large system. So large system means having large number of buses, so that is called the large system, and GS method is suitable for small system, where the NR method is suitable for the large system, and small computer memory is required in the GS system, and NR method the large computer memory is required. And the convergence of the GS method is sensitive to the choice of slack bus, and in the Newton-Raphson method it is not affected. The GS method having the slow rate of convergence, and where the Newton-Raphson method having the fast rate of the convergence, and GS method is less reliable and NR method is more reliable. So in the case of the reliability, NR method is more suitable for the large system as well as for the more reliability. stability. The number of iteration for the GS method increase directly as the number of buses of the network increase, and in the NR method number of iteration will remains practically constant for the given system. And the solution technique which is provided, that is simple, and the solution technique for the NR method is say quite complicated. So this is the difference between the GS and NR method. So let us consider one example related to the NR method, so that will be more clear how to calculate the NR method, calculate the example from the NR method. So in this example, consider three bus system that is given in the below figure. So that is figure 3.9. Each of the three lines has a series impedance of say 0.02 plus 0 j 0.08 pu, and a total shunt admittance of the line is say j 0.02 pu, and specific quantities at the buses are shown in the tabulated form. So bus 1, the real load demand PD is 2.0, and the reactive load demand QD, that is 1.0, and real power generation PG is unspecified because it is the slack bus, and reactive power generated QG, that is also unspecified because this is the slack bus, and voltage specification, that is V1 is equal to 1.04 plus J0 because this is considered as the slack bus. Now for the bus number 2, that is real and real load demand PD is 0.0, reactive, that is 0.0, real power generation PG, that is 0.5, and reactive power generation QG, that is demand. We need to balance the demand and generation so that we can operate the power system very efficiently. So reactive power generation QG is 1.0, and it is unspecified voltage specification because it is the PQ bus. Now the third number, bus number 3, is real load demand is 1.5, reactive load demand is 0.6, and real power generation PG, that is 0.0, and reactive power generation QG, that is QG3 we need to calculate, and the voltage specification V3 is equal to 1.0 because this is the PV bus. Now controllable reactive power source is available at bus number 3 with the constraint say 0 is less than QG, 3 is less than 1.5. So this is the condition that we are going to apply while we will solve this example. And this is the bus diagram, one line diagram of the bus system. So this is the generator SG1, SG2, and this is the G3. So SG1, that is the SD1 is connected, SD2 is connected with the SG2, and SD3 is connected with the G3. V1, V2 and V3 are the buses, and the SG1 is equal to say PG1 plus QG1. Similarly SD1 is equal to PD1 plus QD1 is equal to 2.0 plus J1.0, that is given, and SG1 is equal to PG2 plus QGI, that is 0.5 plus J1.0, that is also given into the data. SD2 is equal to PD2 plus JQD2 is equal to 0.0 plus 0.0. So for this system, find the load flow solution using NR method and use a tolerance of 0.01 for the power mismatch. If any power mismatch occur, then we can have this tolerance while we solve the system. And this 1 and 2 are connected with this link, and voltages of this link is V1 of this and V2 of the line this, and this is the 2-3 is connection between the bus number 2 and 3, and this is the 1-3 is the connection but link between bus number 1 and 3. So let us have the solution of this example. So by using the transmission line pi model that we already discussed in the theory, so y bus for the given system is calculated. So y is 1 upon z, that is given 0.02 plus j 0.08. so from that we can have the value of y in terms of r angle theta, that is 12.13 at angle 75 minus 75.96 pu. So the off diagonal term that we can write, that is 2.94 plus j 11.746. So this is the off diagonal term of the bus, and the self term that we can calculate, that is twice to the off diagonal terms plus j 0.91. So this is the formula that we use to calculate the off diagonal term and the self term of the system. So from that, that is the solution in terms of r angle theta is 24.23 at angle minus 75.95. Now from that we can plot the y bus of the given system. So y bus of the given system can be right as say y11, y22 and y23 that we can calculate from the given bus data. And this is y12, y13, this is y21, y23, and this is the y31, and then this is y32. So these are the values that we can put from the given values of the impedance of the line. Now from the starting iteration, v2 raised to 0 is equal to 1 plus j0. So for that, delta 3 raised to 0 is equal to 0. Now the p2 is equal to, this is the equation that we already derived, that is v2 at angle v2 mode v2 and mode v1 and mode v21, that is cos theta 21 plus delta 1 minus delta 2 plus v2 square y22 cos theta 22, then v2 v3 y23 cos theta 23 plus theta 3 minus theta. So these are the equation that we follow to calculate the uh, the value of the power of p2 and p3. And for the q3 we have the equation, that is the value that we have used over here. The only difference is we put the minus over here. And after that, now substituting the value of different quantities, we get the values of powers as p2 raised to 0 is equal to 0.23 by putting this value from this, and p3 raised to 0 is equal to 0.12, and q2 raised to 0 will be 0.96 pu. Now the power residuals are delta p2 0 is equal to p2 specified minus p2 0 calculated. So we have all the values of p2 specified and p2 calculated. By putting this value, we can calculate the delta p2 raised to 0, that is 0.73, and delta p3 raised to 0, that is minus 1.62, and delta q2 raised to 0 is equal to 1.96. So after that, the changes in the variable at the end of the first iteration are obtained as, that is delta p2, delta p3 and delta q2 is equal to, this is the matrix that we form, that is del p2 by del delta 2 and p3 and q2, and these are the other values that we that we put over here, that is p2, p3 and q2, p2, p3 and q2, and we are derivating it respect to the power angle. And these are the voltage of the respective means for delta p2, that is del mode v2, then del mode v2 and del mode v2, and it is multiplied with yes, it is over here, that is delta 2 is equal to delta 3 and delta v2. So this is the value that we can write from this Jacobian matrix. And after putting that value, we can have the value of delta 2 raised to 1, delta 3 raised to 1, and delta v2 raised to 1. So these are the values, and that we already derived, and we have taken the inverse of the matrix. So we inverted all the values, and by putting these values, we have the this equation. In this equation, we have all the values of delta 2 raised to 1, delta 3 raised to 1, and v2 mode v2 raised to 1, and these are the value that is placed over here. And after putting these values by using equation number 3.7, so qi is equal to minus mode vi sigma k is equal to 1 raised to n yik vk sin theta ik plus theta k minus delta I. So q3 dash will become 0.4677 pu. So after putting these values, we have the value of q3 dash, and qg3 dash is equal to q3 dash plus qd3. So we have the value of qd3, that is 0.6, So QG3 dash will be 1.0677 pu. So this is what we can calculate with the help of the NR method flowchart and from the algorithm. So we will discuss more example related to NR and GS, so that will be more clear to you to solve the examples related to GS and NR. So after this presentation you have the worksheet question, that is give the comparison of GS and NR method, and the assignment questions are explain flowchart of NR method, explain algorithm for the NR method, and the related instructions which are written below. Please read it carefully. You can take the snap of this slide for the for writing the worksheet question and the assignment question. And if you have any doubt or any query related to this topic, then we can solve your doubts and queries into our doubt solving session. Also feel free to call me to solve your doubts related to the NR method. So thank you very much, student. Thank you all. Jai Swaminarayan.